That's far enough. Our village is still riddled with the plague, and now we've got a bit of a witch problem. Obviously, I mean, where there's plague, there's witches. Or maybe it's where there's witches, there's bound to be plague. I forget how that goes. Anyway, just got out of a very heated town hall meeting to discuss the issue of witches. Obviously, we weren't all assembled in a hall because plague. We were all kind of scattered about the town square, hiding behind bits of shrubbery or half walls, as you will, shouting at each other. I mean, listen, we know witches aren't the only cause of the plague. We keep current with the research. We know that the plague is caused by southerly winds and early rains and late rains and extended rains, sailors, kitty cats, the wages of sin, witches, and the difficult transit of Mars in Sagittarius. We know. But of that list, the only thing we can take action on is either kitty cats or witches, and nobody's touching no kitty cats. So that leaves us with our Ethel. Now, we all stipulated very easily that she is the witch. She's 50 to 55 years of age, so she's quite elderly. She lives alone, always has done. She's survived 2 or 3 outbreaks that we know of, suspicious. There was some debate about whether her familiar is a cat or a cow. Cat, cow. There was a lot of mooing and meowing in the square. We decided to table that and just agree that she's unusually good with bees. That said, I'm not convinced that Ethel had her hand in this outbreak at all. And that's because she's not a good witch. And I don't mean that, good witch, bad witch kind of conversation. I'm talking about she doesn't have much potency, if any. I mean, we haven't had a proper Xing in I don't know how long. Crops have been doing just fine. Livestock is healthy as livestock is. And I'll confess I did go to her for a little enchantment for my husband, who's a bit lackluster in his husbandly duties, as it were. No result. But you can't tell that to the council, can you? No. So I reminded them that as a closest neighbour, I would be aware if anything was going on. I've never seen her in Congress with any demons. There's no covens. I mean, if she were to have a naked orgy under the full moon, well, she'd invite me, wouldn't she? It'd be the neighbourly thing to do. Or at least she'd warn me about the loud music and ask if her friends could park their brooms on my property. None of that. So I mentioned it this way. I said, listen, we're all very traumatized about what happened with the Brewsters the other day. The sun came down with buboes, so we had to lock up the whole family in the public house where they live and they brew their ale. Because that's what you do. One family member comes down, you got to do it. Big chain, big padlock, big red X painted on the door. And as sad as it is for the family, and as much as we want to see somebody come out at the end of the 40 days, huzzah. Well, that's our beverage. Back behind all that, that's our spirited liquids. That's a loss. But it just so happens our Ethel makes the strongest honey made in the county. And she makes it so easy for you to get some. She's really got a tremendous operation over there. You go to her backside of her property, put 2 turnips at the bottom of the standing stones at dawn, go about your day, come back at dusk, and there's a lovely little jug for you. The packaging is just beautiful, and the product, delicious. So it was agreed by a healthy margin that Ethel gets a stay, gets a continuance, at least for 40 days. We'll see what happens. Let's hope she can keep those bees producing for all our sakes. That's enough for now. Best be on your way. Bye. Bye. I wonder how much honey made half an onion can get me.